and we're back in Studio K with Spaceport. How you guys feeling after that performance?
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah,
That's
really
great.
fun.
I'm going to give you another chance now to introduce yourself and your bandmates and then all of their instruments.
Cool. I'm Ari. I play guitars and synths on the record and cello and sing. This is Todd. He plays drums and basketball. And
Very nice.
this is Liam, who plays bass. And this is Matt, who plays synth. And Emily, who plays synth as well. And Liam and Emily have also been singing harmonies. I think that's everyone.
Cool. I noticed that Matt and Todd have the same last name. Are you siblings?
They're definitely siblings. Yeah, they're
Very
brothers. Their other brother Jake isn't here right now, but they're in a band called Robot Slide together with
Robot
Liam
Slide.
as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. I didn't even know that. I'm a big fan of Robot Slide.
Yeah, here, yeah.
And they came in not too long ago too, so that's pretty cool. So first thing I want to do is talk about what we just heard. All three of those songs were from your latest release that happened back in March. First one, Another Day. A lot of these songs are beautiful sonically, but also lyrically. There's a lot to kind of dig into. It seems. Are you the primary songwriter, Ari?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, so Another Day seems to be about like the monotony of everyday life, but there seems to be like a lot beneath the surface of that. So can you tell me like more about what that song is actually about?
Sure, yeah. That's one of the first songs that I wrote, and I kind of like was tending to it like across several months, just kind of like at a pretty leisurely pace. It was a song that I couldn't quite figure out, but I would kind of like add to it over time.
Yeah.
And I actually was learning guitar when I was writing that song a couple of years ago. And just like that's in the process of learning a brand new instrument, I had a lot of time to like think slowly and not be kind of like tethered by, knowledge or experience on the instrument, which was really nice and freeing lyrically too. Because I don't know, I was just able to kind of like take a stab at like kind of like journal diary entry kind of like drafting and kind of like understanding how I kind of liked words to sound together, and how things could kind of like tie in musically. And that song is kind of about reflecting on solitude, at home, or maybe kind of like in the world. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times I in the past couple of years I was in public places feeling alone, or like, I don't know, reflecting onto like loss. I lost 3 of my grandparents in the past 2 years.
Wow.
So thinking about death and reflecting on like what it means to lose a whole generation of your family. And also in a like kind of a simplistic way, like a horizon. I don't know, like a silver lining to something, like kind of waking up and starting over, having people that continue to be there and that you trust. And like looking forward to like the return, like the promise of spring after winter, especially living in Minnesota. You think winter is going to be for your whole life, but it really ends someday. And here we are,
Yes. That's beautiful. Well, thank you for that, for diving deep for that. You were talking about how your lyrics are reflective of diary entries in a way. I saw in your bio that I don't know if you wrote this, but it says that your lyrics are like non-confessional diary entries. Can you talk more about that phrase?
Yeah. I guess like when I'm writing a song, I don't really feel like I have to get anything out. I don't know, like I don't have to kind of like come to an understanding or like filter, like process thoughts. It's kind of just like, it's not word vomit. That sounds reductive and like, I don't know, it sounds kind of like there's like a certain amount of care and precision in it, but also I kind of just like how certain words sound together. So that's kind of like my diary or journal process, is kind of like putting together words and ideas and phrases that kind of like have like a musical contour to them.
Yeah.
Whether like with rhyme or kind of like a thematic connection.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite place that you like to write in any place that really inspires you?
I wish
Yeah.
I did. I wish I had a place where I could kind of like turn to and like confidently sit and like deal with my thoughts and ideas, but probably at home. Yeah, like I wrote all these songs like pretty much just in my room, yeah, at home. And I think that like, there's something to be said about that. Just like a comfort, I guess, like
Yeah.
returning to your like own space. I think that's where I probably feel the most comfortable.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, back to what we just heard. The second song that you played, "Window Seat." Can you tell me why you chose that song or that name to be the name of the album itself?
Yeah. I suppose that like a recurring like I don't know, like a theme or a feeling in the album is reflection and like peering through any kind of window, whether that's like a metaphor, like a literal window. Your glasses are a window. You're always looking through windows, and like and also just like thinking about that as like your lens for everything you experience is like always through something and through like your memory and through connection. And I don't know, I take a lot of like scenes from my life and kind of like try to look at them through some kind of gaze and kind of like encapsulate that in a song. So I'm kind of like thinking of like a scene, kind of viewing it like a movie or something, and
taking a step back,
like looking through a camera, like looking out of a plane. I guess like literally, being in the sky or being in like a submarine or something subterranean too. Like the feeling of looking out and seeing some kind of like vastness, and not necessarily like having one point of reference to something in life. Yeah.
Cool. Well, so you're talking about memories. That our third song, "Someone at Radio Shack Looks Exactly Like Me." Is that an actual thing that happened where you were at Radio Shack?
Yes.
And what really?
Yeah. This is a funny story. Yeah.
What compelled you to write a song about that?
Oh, well, it's about like I would go to Radio Shack after school with my dad. Sometimes there's a Radio Shack in Robbinsdale, or there used to be where I grew up. And multiple times we would go to Radio Shack and I would follow out a different adult man out of the store who looked exactly like my dad, though, because that's the thing, that's the important thing. So then I would just like follow a stranger out of the store and just like have to like reckon with that confusion and mystery, and that actually happened at the Mall of America as well, and it happened at a different Radio Shack.
I think we've all had that experience, though. I
Yeah,
think I've done
getting
the same.
lost at stores, and then but it just seemed to kind of like Radio Shack is happening at Radio Shack. But yeah, I was just also reflecting about my dad and like, thinking I was kind of, my loved ones or like my family and friends, they are so present in my life when I'm writing too. So a lot of these are kind of like reflections of that as well.
Totally. Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool. Well, I'm curious about your musical background. I saw that you described yourself as having classical sensibilities. Do you have a classical background?
Yeah.
In music?
I actually graduated from the School of Music exactly 5 years ago at the U. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thanks. I studied cello performance. There's a lot of cello on the record. I haven't quite played cello live in a band setting, but I just arranged one of the songs for cello. But yeah, I have a long training going back to like when I was 8, and yeah, that's been my kind of like primary pathway into music and my kind of like lifelong. This sounds serious, but like dedication in a way. Like that's my like primary interest and like thing that I feel most confident in.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when you were originally going to school for music, was the plan to be in like an orchestra, or were you always thinking like, I'm going to use this outside of the traditional classical arena?
The plan was kind of that to join or to ultimately be an orchestral musician or to just be like playing in a professional chamber group. But yeah, to be pretty much only playing cello for the rest of my life. I actually couldn't imagine myself doing anything other than that. But yeah, after graduating, I kind of needed a shift and needed to feel like I was doing something different and new, and making music more so how I felt comfortable doing that and free to experiment. And there's a lot of rigidity and a lot of expectations that come with being a classical orchestral musician that I respect in some ways, and also it's not for me. So, yeah.
Tell me about the shift from playing cello to playing the guitar. Was it easy to pick up the guitar, being that it's also a string instrument, or is it completely different?
To me, it's completely different.
Okay.
I think part of the, the posturing and kind of like muscle memory that goes into playing cello can be transferred to guitar in some way, or definitely helps me make my way around the topography of the instrument. But at the same time, it's feels so foreign to me still, which is really freeing because I feel like I have some experience and kind of like feel grounded in skill of like playing instruments, but also just feeling like untethered by like tradition, and also like just totally feeling like you don't quite understand, like you don't know something too well is really freeing because you can just kind of try whatever and kind of compose in a different kind of way. That's like kind of really based on your ears too, and not so much like a sight or kind of like another knowledge.
For sure. Cool. All right. Well, tell me about how you met these lovely people behind you. How did this group come together?
I met Todd like in 2018, and then we have been close ever since, and we're partners, and we've played music together in many different ways. And when I started writing this music, I would send Todd drafts, and he'd put live drums on them, and they kind of became, more formed, and then bass, and then Liam added bass, and it became a band. And then Matt's like helped along the way with production, and just also like them as a band has been really inspiring. And it's really fun to play with them too. And Emily, I know Emily kind of like through my connection with Todd and Matt, and we've kind of like all played music together in many different ways for a long time. And Emily plays in a band called Sister Species, awesome band. And they were really like generous and like excited to play in our release show, which was really fun because the record is really dense with synth parts and additional harmonies. So they they joined us for that, and then we're here today, which was really fun.
Cool. Do the other group members have classical backgrounds as well, or?
A couple do. Liam and Matt do. And then Emily and Todd don't in that particular sense.
Okay.
But are very musical.
So that's not the only way to do it. But totally. So when you guys perform live, is it often in this 5-person group, or is it bigger or smaller?
So we've played in this setup a couple times, and we played a show in January together, and we played our release show in March, and then today. But kind of most of the time it's me, Liam, and Todd. But it's kind of nice to have the flexibility because we can kind of like just think about like what could be really fun to put together as a big group versus a small group. I think both are really special. There's like a really amazing, like expansive sound with the big group. And like, it's nice to also have like an intimate, more, sparse setup.
Totally. Yeah. Do you dream of someday having live strings, live horns, maybe in your live performance? Yeah,
I've been thinking about if there's like any way for me to play cello and sing at the same time, but I'm not so interested in that for me, I guess. I've been thinking about a way to kind of incorporate live strings. And I know some other fantastic cellists who, at some point might join us for that. And I think that could be really fun. My dad plays horn on the record. He plays trumpet.
Oh, that's awesome.
So maybe someday I'll kick it with us.
Does he play on the Radio Shack song, or is
He plays on Another Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then my friend Carly Olson plays clarinet on a song called Little Grain of Sand.
Great.
It'd be awesome to have them play with us sometime.
Yeah.
Or to kind of rearrange things for different horns, different strings too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I have some fun questions for you now to wrap things up. Not that the rest of them weren't fun,
Cool.
but my first one with the space theme, Spaceport. I'm curious. Do you think that UFOs are real? And what evidence do you have to support this claim?
Definitely. They're definitely real.
I've actually seen Todd talking about this on Instagram, so that's why I asked. But Todd, if you want to take the mic for this one, you totally can.
Sure. Actually, Todd had like a whole monologue
Yeah.
one time at a store. At a not a store, Radio Shack? No, at a show. But yeah, if you want to take the
I think that's the video that I
Yeah,
saw.
I won't go too in depth right now because it might be here for a while, but they are definitely real.
And why?
we've seen them.
Yeah. Well, also, if there's this, I think it was 2018, the U.S. government actually released this report. It was like the preliminary findings on UAP phenomena or something. They call them UAPs now, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Why are they doing that? Are they trying to throw us off?
They're
Or-
trying to throw us off. They're trying to throw us off. They want us to think it's like a gas bubble or something, you know, like it's
Yeah.
a phenomena, not an object. But you all know what's going on there. Anyway, they basically like looked at a bunch of like Air Force and Navy videos like taken from cockpits and basically said like, oh, we've actually have a bunch of videos of like crafts or some things flying around that we don't know what they are. But they're real.
Okay.
They're definitely the truth is out there.
We have a song kind of about that too. It's called "I Want to Believe." So
Cool.
Yeah.
Another question: Are you guys aliens?
No comment.
No comment.
we'll have
Are
to.
you?
Yeah, no comment.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Cool. Okay, cool. Now more music related question. This is one I asked to all the bands that come in here, but I want you, and you can use your band as support. I want you to build a bill for yourselves. You get to play on it. You get 3 other bands to play on it. It can be anyone dead or alive. This is your dream bill, and you can also give me a venue if you want.
Okay,
So
we'll
you
have
can-
to. We'll
yeah,
have
deliberate.
to. Yeah.
Get
we'll
together
deliberate.
and talk. I can kill some time
3 other bands.
talking.
Did you say any dead or alive?
Dead or alive? 3 other bands.
Wow.
And you're in there too.
Brahms. yeah.
Brahms,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Brahms. No, Paganini for sure. Brahms. Now you want a showman. Brahms? What is he going to stand there? Brahms? What do you mean, an orchestra playing Brahms, or you mean Brahms himself?
No, just Brahms playing guitar.
Brahms and Clara Schumann.
Yeah, and Clara.
What is
Yeah.
this?
I think that's cool. Okay, what else? 3 bands.
Wait, Brahms and Clara Schumann are one act?
Yeah. and then
We're a folk duo.
2 more people. 2 more bands.
What about Clara and Robert Schumann?
about
Wouldn't that be a
your
better?
Raiders
That would be
Sufjan
a
shirt?
vastly.
Oh
better-
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
also, this is
Conrad
the
and
bill.
obsessed
We
with
have
Sufjan
these 3
Stevens.
I'm just saying. We
Okay.
gotta do these 3.
Oh, Batty Jr.
Yeah. Batty Jr., Brahms.
Robot Slide, and Sufjan Stevens.
Okay, so give it to me. Give it to me. Everything. So we got Spaceport. Who's up second?
Oh, we're not headlining or
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't.
Okay.
You're headlining. Who's playing first? Who's
Okay.
opening the show?
Okay. This is really gonna be controversial here, but Johannes Brahms, Robert Schumann, and Clara Schumann
Opening.
As
opening.
one act. Okay.
Brahms a French
Opening.
horn? What was he-
3 hands, or 6 hands. 6 hands piano. And and then Sufjan Stevens, and then Robot Slide, and then Sister Species, and then Spaceport.
Oh, you're gonna throw another one in there. You
We
sneaky.
forgot about Batty Jr. though.
Oh, and then Batty Jr. and then Betazoid.
DJ set.
You're
Yeah,
so
Batty
cheating.
Jr.,
This is not the question that I asked. but that's
This
fine.
is a whole festival.
Yeah.
This is going
Okay.
on all day.
We'll do Radio K-Palooza with all you guys. Cool.
The venue is
At
Radio-
Connie's Creamy Cone.
Connie's Cream.
At Connie's Creamy
Creamy
Cone.
Cone Fest.
That's great. That's fantastic. All right. All right. Last question for you. I want to give you a chance to talk about any shows or releases, merch drops, anything like that that's coming up.
Well, merch drop. I guess I'm working on a shirt design, so we'll have shirts at some point. um, okay, shows. We have a show that is happening on June 2nd at the Batcave, with Keep for Cheap and also Ghosting Merit, and what was that? Releases?
Yeah. I know you just released your last project, so
Yeah, we released an album on March 3rd
Yeah.
called Window Seat. Yeah. So that's out on Aura Vortex Records. Aura Vortex Records has some releases this past year. You should, or that's, yeah, they've, yeah,
cool.
many good
right.
things.
Yeah, lots of good things to look into. Cool. All right, well, thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate your music and your words.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so lovely to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.